Well, what are we looking at? Hey guys, I said I would do it. I've told several people I will do it, but today I'm going to try to do it. Look what came in the mail. Oh, brand new, brand new, brand new. And this is Old Faithful, and man, the history. This thing is 1.5 years old, and it's still going. But there's little to be desired. So what I'm blah 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 without going into it, but I probably will, is I'm going to take this camera off of this unit and I'm going to put it on this one. And it's a relatively simple procedure, but this is probably going to be a 30-minute video or better. So basically, if you can't do this, then let me recommend you buy the little camera. It only has 2 little wires, and carry it to your local guitar shop and hand the whole thing to the guy back there and say, do this for me right quick. So very, very carefully. I could just pry it and pop it off if that's what I was trying to do, but I don't want to tear anything up while I do it. And so the goal here is to get it to release kind of slowly, a slow and steady tension. You know, like something hanging from the ceiling, just waiting for it to drop. That kind of thing. So it looks like it's trying. Maybe a friendly little encouragement. And maybe a cuss word or two. Give it. Yeah. Alright. Did we tear anything up? Alright, what do I have? Alright, that's the guts laying right there. Again, I got 2 little wires soldered to the capacitor. I'm just going to move them over there. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and or not. That's putting up a fight there. So what will actually probably happen is I'll just hold a flame up to it and let it run across the bottom. Not this way, and re-stick it. Amazingly, I fixed the antenna that I ripped off of it. That's the best solder joint I've ever made in my life. And I reinforced it with plenty of hot glue so it can take a little bit of abuse now. Outside of that, this thing, I went through a lot of trouble to make sure I could unplug it. So if I just bought a new camera, I could just stick a new camera on there. I don't have the luxury to do that this time, so I got to make a choice. I either hardwire it on there, or I reuse this one, and that's probably what I'm going to do. So this is going to take a minute. I'll probably cut this part while I free the little thing here. You be free, you. Well, that didn't take a whole lot of effort. Never mind, probably don't have to cut it. Oh, sweetheart. You're just in the way now. But we all love you. I know I do. It has been the best investment on a toy type item I have ever made for me. Get on over here. Sit over here for just a minute. These are different skids. Ain't they cool? But that's a consideration for later. The concentration now, of course, is let's get this thing going. Alright, the other thing is, let me, here it is. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. I've done this before, and those blades can be a little aggravating. So screw, and wiggle, wiggle, and another screw. I'm just burning up all the light in it. Come on, baby, you can do it. Oh, you can do it. There it comes. Oh, look at him go. All right, that's number 2. Now I can put my hands down in here. So I'm going to do the same thing with this little antenna first thing. I'm going to straighten him up and get him to be proud to be here. What you doing hiding all down there in the corner? Little antenna. We want you here with the rest of the world. Look at him. Ain't he happy? Alright. Then next, determine. Of course, in the electrical world, usually red is positive and black is negative. And it's the same thing here. And they just happened to print it on the board for me. Negative, right there. So that only leaves that the other one's got to be positive, right? And so, and you say, well, why don't you just solder them here? Which would be more convenient, I'll agree. But there's something I've seen in other people's videos. I am not the smartest cookie in the box. Do you know that? But I can learn, and I pay attention to what other people tell me. And according to the other videos that I've seen, they say putting the camera, introducing it in the capacitor, helps with any kind of feedback, electrical or what. I can't argue, baby. So monkey see, right? Monkey see. So it was good enough for this monkey. And it seemed to work, to tell you the truth. I don't really have any complaints otherwise. You see I got a little port left over here, and I believe that's for a camera. But I hadn't confirmed that yet. And if the manufacturer did that, well, those sneaky rascals. So let's do the first thing. This is turn this thing on. And for good grief's sakes, be careful with it. You'll sit it down and it'll run over and touch something that you care about, and you just, it happens. It happens. Don't let it happen to you. So the other thing is, I'm going to try to get my route here. I guess coming off, just off the front. I should neaten this up, and I believe it will. Even it up, rather. About the same length I'm dealing with. It might make it a little bit easier to solder for. And just pull a little insulation off the end. Pull a little insulation off the end. And I like to twist my wires. I'm not a good wire twister, so let's twist the whole thing. Look at that. Come here, you. And twist, twist. Ooh, that soldering iron got hot quick. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that flux stuff on putting way too much on there because I cannot see, boys and girls. I simply cannot see very well. Everything is fuzzy. It's fuzzy. But somehow I manage anyway. So with that, regardless, I'm going to drip a little bit on my stuff here. Get a little bit cling to the end. Come on, cling on. It's a cling on. Come here, you get on there. Alright, with that, just a little touch. Just another little touch. I said, there we go. And now those are called tinned. A little bit more stuff. Oh, good grief. Oh, and here's something I forgot. Very key. Alright, not that much though. Somehow get just a little taste of this stuff on there. There's a little taste for you. And there's a little taste for you, I think. Get down in there. Oh, I am not good at this. Alright. Turn this back on. A negative wire over here. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Man, it's tricky. It's already tricky. This thing gets hot surprisingly fast, and until you're waiting for it, I guess. You run, you. Oh, I got a big old gob on there. Come on there, big old gob. That's the tricky part. If you can see, which I can't. Something is stuck to something. Excuse me while I pick this up and inspect it. Well, it's not stuck very well either. But I might can fix that here in just a minute. But it will hold, I hope, well enough for me to make this other joint even better. Now if you can see that, yeah, I should be able to do that a little easier. And then I can come back, hopefully, and readdress that first joint. Little rascal. So let me get a big old gob on here. Big old gob. Come on down here, big old gob. Oh, great grief. And don't melt your other wires. Don't be. Let's scooch him over a bit. It's on there, but I'm gonna tell you right now it's not very good. So let me pause this and I'll try to be right back. okay. I just put a little more heat there and let it bake. Same thing there. I pretty much trust that. I'm gonna have to. I'm scared to play with it anymore. I'm too old, I'm too shaky, too visually impaired. Alright. I get that. Got dripped on there. Shame on me. Oh, we're done with you. Put this in a safe place, because that was all the solder. Even if you did it with the camera, you cut the thing off, it's still the same two wires. Just solder them on there, except for that you're going to have a camera hanging off the end. Straighten the capacitor up. And if it doesn't lean, it doesn't have to be straight up and down. It just has to be wide enough between here to allow for that camera to rest. Now what I'm fixing to do is these wires. Man, one thing I have learned is the main shaft doesn't always, can rub internally. If I get any light in here for it, can you see this? The main shaft right there can rub on the inside of these wires and then possibly short it out. And all you need to do about that is just simply go in there with a toothpick or something and just pull them off of the frame slightly. Just a little bit. Just a little tension in there until they kind of tend to want to stay. Because the concentration here was, you see how much play that you have? It's hooked in a little hook right here. And the little guy pulled it tight, and he took the excess and he squeezed it right there, and he just trying not to let it ride off back here. So the only thing that I'm doing here is strictly for looks. For looks. It makes me happy and nobody else. So I like the little colors. I like being able to see it. One of the other last things I'm going to do is this right here. Just take, and if I can get him to cooperate, poop, just pop that little guy right out. And you don't have to do any soldering. You don't have to do anything to it except fish it out from where it is. That's a little bit tricky. Can be. But it'll come out. It's come out all the rest of them. He's going to want a little encouragement. And just gently encourage him without forcing him. If you get into it's too tight, then there's a reason. It's not very strong in here. So if it's not just coming through, don't force it. Look for the reason and address that. And then just nudge him on through there. Come on, little nudger. Except my nudger is putting up a little bit of a fight. And for some reason, that I don't understand. Oh, completely understand. It's got to come up a little bit. Then go through there. It was part of the frame I need to jump over. And I wasn't doing it. Jump over that, you. And that, just like that. Just like that, you pop right out of there. And if you don't already know, I'm rerouting mine to the front of the show here, so it'll be in view of the camera, so I can be aware of when to bring this back, because one of the things I hate, I really do, is they didn't put a beeper in that thing to beep at me when I've got a low voltage. They didn't do it. Regardless, it does have a few flaws, and that's one of them. So here she is, about ready to go. I'll plug the little camera in. And I think I'm ready to put it on the frame here. I think I am. I'm gonna try. Oh, and remember what I told you a while ago? I didn't need to straighten the capacitor up. I lied. I need to straighten mine up. You might not need to straighten yours. And anything you do, oh man, you're doing it with a risk. There is a small risk here that you can break a circuit solder connection when you move that. They're generally very forgiving, but I don't want to tell you to break yours. But you see right now, that camera fits. There it is. Unfortunately, I cannot figure out a way, I just ain't figured it out, to get that canopy on there. Wouldn't that? Oh, that'd be so cool. I'll keep working on it. But for right now, what I'm going to do is simply, first of all, continue my little endeavor to get that light around the front. And then I'm going to go ahead and set that camera and watch this. Do this very gently. You get a little carried away and you yoink the wires right out of the housing there. So anyway, so that'll dress up a little neater. I can do the same here, which it had been done once or twice. Now this is the part I really don't like, but it's what has to happen. I'm going to take an open flame and I'm going to run it along the side of this thing here, and I'm going to try to hurry up and stick it. I'm going to hurry up and stick it right there in that path I've created. That's the fun part. That's the fun part. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, it looks like it's getting all mushy-ushy. Look at it. Oh, that looks gooey there. Oh, it's gonna be gooey on my finger. Don't you do it. Alright. And put just a little teeny downward look on it. So I'm trying to point it in the right direction. I'm trying to put a little downward view on it. And I'm trying to hold it as still as I possibly can. It's like super glue in the 70s. You had to hold it 30-45 seconds. You really did. And it should look a little something like that. That you have a not perfectly level plane against that view. You want to look down just a teeny bit, if you can. Now, look what I went and did is there. Got that out of the way. Get these guys to cooperate. You don't have to do any of this. Again, it's for me and my own OCDness, and I got it. So I'll tuck this little wire in here somewhere, ultimately. And then I'm going to point out some things. This little piece of foam rubber right here, it is covering the altimeter. I've called it a barometer before. I say one thing and mean something else, but basically, yeah, that thing. And mine's not even stuck on there that well, but I'm going to get mine soggy. I'm going to try not to. It's a brand new do thingy. You got a foam rubber base here for, I'm not exactly sure. My theory is, you see that this frame, this is not exactly square with the frame of the do thingy. My theory is they did that on purpose. That little guy sat there and stuck it on a little bit off center. I've seen a video about it. The whole punchline is it affects some smoothicity. It tends to want to correct itself. It thinks it's one way and it corrects itself, and then it realizes it's not, and then it causes a bunch of tail flutter. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. We're inches away from a maiden flight. So I want to tuck this wire just out of the way, really. So I suppose it can go right in that hole there. Look at it. Got a little, watch this. Make me a little thingy. Put my little thingy right there in that hole right there. Look at that. Will you get in there? Alright. And then that'll take up the slack of what I don't need for me to come out here and do this right here or something like it in the meantime. Hey, you want to see if it works? The camera should already have the same, it should be set up. Let me save y'all the pain that I've been through. You can find better than that Emacs name. You can find better. Alright, battery in the hole here, I think. Oh baby. Oh baby, hey. And oh, you just don't care, do you? Yeah, it don't like upside down. It's got a safety thing, I guess. Well, good for you. Good for you. Oh, man, I am happy. I am happy. I am happy right now. I am happy. And look, I am going to sure miss you. Or not. Man, y'all don't know my luck. I'm liable to fly this thing, and that C129 sure did. It took off and I didn't see it for months. And lucky I ever saw it again. Let's put some blades on it. Let's take it for a ride. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Gonna put a blade on it. Gonna put a blade on it. I'm gonna fly my helicopter. I'm gonna fly my And I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do it. Wiggle, wiggle. Oh, there you go. You're gonna get in there. There we go. I shake like an old man, don't I? That's alright, I feel like one too. Oh, baby. Come on. It's my big head in the way. Alright, that did it. Come here, you. I cannot get that battery out. Thank you. Guys, that should officially be it, at least for just the next few minutes. I'm going to try to fly this thing. I'm getting ready to right now. Let me change the camera here so you can see what's happening. I'm going to get a fresh battery. One that's already charged up. Recalibrate. Let me close this puppy, probably make the most sense. Or just move it all together. How about that? Just move it all together. That ought to be enough room. Oh, and I'll tell you what, I'm about as pleased as much as anything else to finally have 3 of these things. 3 of them now. All right, there's that. Try to set that up so you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Well, you ain't gonna be able. You ain't gonna see it for now. Will that work? Oh, you can just barely see it. Regardless, there it is. That is a pretty sight for me. And these things fly best on channel speed 2. It has 3 speeds. But you just have a little better response. It's a little slower. It's not as aggressive. you can overcorrect in speed 3, and you're not going to hurt this little thing. Oh, it sounds just new and fresh, don't it? I am so happy. I am so happy. I couldn't make up my mind what to buy was the other thing. Could have got a new C127, which is very, very good helicopter. In some cases I like it better than this, in others not. It was a very, very close toss-up of what to do. But this one has proved itself so many times too. So many times. Oh, babe, come back over here. Left is right. Let's take it to the park. I'll have it hung in a tree, and oh boy, in a tree or in the creek. I can't wait. I can't wait. So I'm gonna dress it up a little bit and put the hot glue on the front. I've got I got some essentials that need to be there, and I might even do another wrap on the thing, because that actually looked pretty. And the last thing that I'm going to do is wrap the blades, because they really need that. And that comes from, let's see, let's start putting stuff back together here. Man, looky. Oh, looky. And I'll probably make another one of these things too. This one works very well, but it ain't pretty. It's kind of like me. It works and it keeps going, but it just ain't pretty. All right. And if y'all been wondering, those are pontoons. I told you, it's a beautiful day. Come join me.